Sure, I'm Mark Fragale, and I'm one of the adjunct professors here. And I have been teaching the IMC 543 digital video production class for I think 3 years now, a little more than 3 years now. Wow, gone by so fast. So the course that I teach in this part of the school in the curriculum is hands-on video production. So the objective of the class is to learn how to produce video, edit video, and go through the entire process from conception to delivery. So the objective of the course is to make a small 4-minute video at the end, a marketing video, not so much a commercial, but a marketing video that talks about any topic that the student wants to cover. A lot of people have done things like restaurants or bars or churches, any other clothing store. I think somebody did clothing store once. Just different businesses and different concepts of that to explain. Not only, so it's not a commercial. You're not making the students are making a commercial for the restaurant. They're making a video about the restaurant. So where did the restaurant, as an example, how did it start? Who were the owners? Where did the recipes come from? So there's a little bit more background to it. So the objective of the class is, like I said, the students to start off and come up with a concept of the video that they want to produce, and then walk through all the steps and all the different production steps to get to the final project. And that includes talking to the client, seeing what the client's needs are, coming up with the visuals, coming up with the graphics, coming up with the audio, coming up with all the different concepts for the video. Then you go out and produce that video, edit that video, and then deliver that video. So it's the whole process from start to finish of a marketing video production. I like hands-on teaching, and I like working with students and other. I have, my background is I worked in all kinds of film and video production. In the 90s, I worked in Los Angeles and Hollywood and was a camera operator. And I worked in marketing and commercials and a bunch of different things. Now I work in sports video production. But the objective is video is video. And like we were talking about before, it's everywhere across multiple platforms. And especially after COVID changed the world, video was such an important part of that change. And if you think about it for an instant, what industry or what profession doesn't use video in some form, whether it's just as simple as a TikTok or as complicated as a 30-minute Super Bowl commercial? That whole panorama is video production. And knowing the thing that I like to bring to the class is the nomenclature, to get students who aren't completely familiar with video production, using the correct terms, using the editing techniques. I guess the idea is nobody is. You don't take the class to become a complete editor after you take the class. The objective is to familiarize yourself with the techniques and the nomenclature, so that when you do leave and you graduate and you're working in a marketing field, you're working on video, you understand the concepts of what is being said and what's being talked about, and the students can give input into saying, this camera angle is better than this camera angle because X, Y, and Z. So that's where I come in to kind of give my experience of what I have done in the past into the class, into the students in real time and hands-on production. I think this class is really engaging in a real world environment because you have to do it. And a lot of things in college I teach a hands-on class here at RIT where I work, where we go out and shoot. This is an online course at a graduate level, which is fantastic, but you still have to go out and shoot, and you still have to get a camera, and you still have to be able to use it the right way. And I think the idea here is to go out and try different techniques and different things and bring them back to the class. And the class will talk about that real world experience of what you're doing and say, no, this is wrong. This is good. You should try this. You should try that. So the real world engagement is what I bring to my real world engagement to this class, is what I'm actually doing. So when we're working in editing in Premiere, I work in editing Premiere. So when someone has a question in the class about how does this take place, what should this reference be, I have that experience because I work with it. I've worked with it in the past. Now, I work with it every day in my real world experience. So again, the objective of the class and for the students is not only to understand the theory and concepts behind video production, but then to go out and actually do it. And it's difficult for some students to cross that threshold, but it's important because it's interesting because the one thing I tell my students at the beginning of the class is you're not getting graded on the video that you make at the end. You're getting graded on the process to get to the video. So I'm not expecting a professional video from everybody when they come out at the end. I want to see them go through the process, and that is a real world experience because that is exactly if you're in a marketing, if you work in marketing or communications, and somebody says to you, "I want to make a video about whatever that topic is." Well, what is the process you have to go through? That's real world, and that's what we use in the real world in commercial production. I find inspiration all the time in different videos and different television productions and film that I see. One of the best, I didn't grow up with this because we didn't have video playback and video record when I was younger or even in college. We have that now. So what I do is where I get inspiration from, if I see something on television that I like, if I'm watching a hockey game, let's say, and I see a camera angle or a replay or something, I can go back and watch it again. I can go back and see it again and learn that technique and kind of understand it and break it down and see where it comes from. So that's what gives me inspiration, is while I'm watching different things or looking at different techniques that people are working on, I can kind of, my inspiration comes from trying to figure out how do they do that. And the Super Bowl is coming up this weekend. So that's a great place to look at the commercials and look at what's happening all over the production from start to finish from the Super Bowl, whether it's halftime, the game, the commercials, anything that happens in between to gain inspiration. I was just reading an article, there are 165 cameras on the Super Bowl. And I think to myself, how do you direct 165 cameras to tell 165 different people where to go? That's kind of what gives me inspiration, and that's what I can bring to the class to say, hey, this is interesting. Take a look at this. It's weird because I'm teaching a class now here, a hands-on class in sports video production. And one of the assignments is for my class to watch the Super Bowl and think about 165 cameras and where they all are. And it blows their mind when they start seeing it from a different angle. So I think the thing about watching video is not just to see it as a consumer, because we can do that all the time, but to start to think about it from a different aspect. Again, another example, a good example is because many people have done restaurants in the class and students. It's not just enough to show a hamburger. How do they show it professionally? How do they show it better? How do they show it so that you know what I mean? So those are the techniques that inspire me to bring to the class.